It's time now for the award-winning #1 local talk show in Northeast Pennsylvania, The Sam Lesante Show. Now here's your host, Sam Lesante.
And now, my friends, it's a pleasure to introduce you to the President and Vice President of Lexington Realty International. These are two people that had a lot of foresight for the greater Hazleton area and did a magnificent job up here at Laurel Mall. As I mentioned to you a little while, the fact that they now announced TJ Maxx coming. But it's interesting, folks. As you know, I interview a lot of people from Can Do and Downtown Alliances and the different chambers, and we talk about what people do to make our area grow. And certainly, hats off to Lexington Realty and International, because these people have foresight. They put their money where their mouth is. They made promises and they accomplished. So let's talk about that. First of all, I want to introduce you to Alan Retkinski, who is the president, and Eric Frankel, who is the vice president. Congratulations, gentlemen, because you really certainly brought a tremendous asset here, expanded this asset that we have in the greater Hazleton area. And of course, as I was mentioning, we cover, you know, we're going down as far as St. Clair up into Wilkes-Barre, etc. So let me ask you this, Alan. You know, what made you become interested in managing the Laurel Mall in Hazleton?
Lexington Realty's expertise is looking at a mall that has its, shall I say, has its problems, its challenges, due to lack of attention. We have a vision in how we're going to recreate the mall to make it a viable destination once again. Different than it used to be years ago. And when I can describe that to you in greater detail, but when I saw Laurel Mall had every one of those potential ingredients to create a home run that has ultimately become, because of everything going for it the way I envisioned it, whether it was the population, whether it was the actual asset, whether it was actual competing stores in the area, whatever. It's so many different factions that came together, but the one thing is, at the end of the day, it all worked out to prevent the perfect storm.
When you said about you looked at the area, and certainly that's what Can Do does. We try to bring manufacturing, try to bring business in the area. What were some of the things that popped up that were beneficial for Lexington?
Well, we like to go to areas that have growing population. We like to go to areas that have somewhat of a larger immediate population that is already existing. We like to go to areas that have mixed across, across the spectrum in age group, in gender, in everything. And I just saw Hazleton as having a perfect growth area, an area that just had action in it. It was an area that had action with an asset that was begging for attention.
And Alan, what was your thinking when you were addressing the Laurel Mall?
Well, I'd like to add to what Alan just said. One other point. We like always taking an area where this is the best located and situated mall within that 30-mile radius, and that's what you have over here in Laurel Mall. Basically going up all the way till Columbia Mall in Bloomsburg and all the way down till Pottsville, this is the better asset. And we thought if we could just channel some of that great growth that we already have over here with some of the great stores that we have, Old Navy and Boscov's and Kmart, and just channel some more action, do some more hard work, think out of the box how we can bring more action and more positivity, and with signing up with great relationships throughout the area and getting into the local market and seeing how we can go and cater to their needs.
It's interesting because, as I mentioned before, having 21 stores or 20 when I was in the retail business, we look for malls and companies that were aggressive, that were doing things to bring people in, because you need people to sell your merchandise. And certainly 2 years ago you made a couple promises, okay? And let's talk about some of those things, because sometimes talk is cheap, as you all know. But your company said, look, we have determined we're going to do this, and you made a destination point, at least. So it's in the 2 years, what were some of the things that you said you were going to do and have done?
I always say that it's okay to dream. as long as you're not sleeping.
That's a good one.
We dreamt, and I said to myself, what do I need to do to bring the Laurel Mall as a destination? Well, exactly that. As I mentioned before, shopping in a mall overall has, according to all the news statistics and studies and whatnot, have all been saying the same thing. Malls are a dying breed, they don't have a future. And I looked at the statistics, I said, how much of the sales are going because they doesn't have a future because they're going to the internet? Well, how much of those sales are going to the internet? You know how much? 30%. Let's not forget, 70% stays. I'm happy to be with the majority.
Absolutely.
And being here with the majority means I said to myself, what am I going to do to create and keep sales here at the mall? I need to make this a destination. Well, let's talk a little bit about what we have to do to make this a destination. You know, we're sitting now in a comfortable seating area. Instead of those hard metal back seating areas, we're comfortable, relaxing. If I'm at home, I want to get out. Where am I going to go? I want someplace that I can sit down and relax. Come to an area, nice carpet, this seating area, I'll sit here. What am I going to do? Well, guess what? I put in free Wi-Fi throughout the entire mall. Now, guess what? I can get on my computer and do some work. Not only am I comfortable, I'm not wasting time. Wait, I want to go ahead and bring my children. Guess what? What are they going to do? Well, we put in a brand new play area, a huge play area, which this play area it brings people from, I don't know, from a 60-mile radius, people coming here. My children now can play. So I'm now creating this into a community, a brand new situation where we're able to go and have people just come here to hang out and relax and enjoy. You know, they come home not tired, they come home relaxed.
Yes. Yeah.
It's funny how when I go to some malls, I come home and I'm wiped. When I come here, I'm relaxed, I'm happy, it's an enjoyable atmosphere. How are you going to go ahead and know that what stores are here? Yes, of course, I made a nice area, but you still have to have stores. Let's invest in a brand new pylon. It was incredibly expensive. It was incredibly expensive, but you know something? It was worth every penny of it because now people are prominently displayed. The people who could never get advertised or no one knew they were here, now they know they're here. A beautiful digital display. The bathrooms, brand new bathrooms. Someone made a comment to me and say, hey Alan, are we in a hotel or a mall? And you know something? That's what I wanted to have. Clean bathroom, you know, one of the first things I check out at a property, when I see a property, that's that the bathroom's clean. That says a lot about the property.
Absolutely.
And you know something? You can come now and proudly say, yeah, it is clean. And then, of course, we still had to arrest the vacancy issue. That's when we started focusing on the vacancies, which I'm sure we'll get to announce the newest tenant to the mall.
Yeah.
But even prior to that, we also wanted to make it a place of safe environment. We put in the security. We have great new security. Security which is on top of the situation, was friendly. And not to say that the past wasn't friendly, but new faces, new friendly, everyone's just happy. And new management was again reaching out to all the tenants, stopping by, saying hello. And most important, they say, last but not least, we got a great television station. The Samsung moved
Took the
into
words
the mall.
out of my mouth.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Well, you know, it's fun doing it. It's a challenge. Well, first of all, being born and raised, my entire family here, you know, we want to see the area grow in the right way, and it's such a treat to have your company come in and have the values in what you just said, and that's so important. Folks, I'm talking to Alan Retkinski, who is the president of Lexington Realty International, and Eric Frankel, who is the vice president. We'll be back right after this break. Welcome back to the Sam Lesante Show, folks. We're on location here at the Laurel Mall. Remember, you can watch all of our programs on ssptv.com. And remember, for the Hazleton area, on Service Electric Cablevision, we're on HD now, 513. Thank you so much for the great comments we're having. My email, sam@ssptv.com. Folks, I'm talking to the president of Lexington Realty International, Alan Retkinski, and the vice president, Eric Frankel. I'm sorry, Eric. So, great things happening. You said you were going to do a lot of things. Talk about this exciting thing that happened today, that you announcement today.
Well, as I mentioned, we finished off by keeping our word to everything that we had promised we were going to do. There was one thing that I didn't mention, and that was part of my promise was to fill the vacancies of the mall, which is an important thing for malls, that they have vacancies. Well, sure enough, today I came and I've announced a brand new tenant, 21,000 square foot anchor to the Laurel Mall, TJ Maxx. TJ Maxx will be coming to the property and opening hopefully the last quarter of 2016. TJ Maxx is going to be taking the space from the space over here, the corner of Provo Shoes, straight, this old Deb Shops, we're taking the GNC, and we're taking the New York department store. Going straight back, going to the front entry, and we'll be relocated the GNC elsewhere as we will be doing the same with the New York department store. We're going to be adding some green space in the front of the mall, bringing out the entire entry and rerouting the road in front of the new green space. So instead of the road going like this now, it's going to be going straight and making it straight across over here, as you can see with the new curb cuts. Basically, the entry will be straight as regular over here, but we'll have this green area. And if you want to see on a color photo, basically this is how it's going to look. There's a green area out front, and TJ Maxx will have a standard TJ Maxx entry in the front, in the individual entry in the front. But the good thing is they're going to stay and have an opening into the mall as well. Kind of where GNC is right now, that's where there's going to be the main entry into the mall from this side. The stores that are around the corner, like Fruity Smoothies and Danny, Provo Shoes, and as we can make the turn over here, we have Cost Cutters and Subway. They're going to all be staying. We're not touching them. So the only one that's going to be relocated is the GNC and the New York department store. This is for those who are not familiar with TJ Maxx, it's a tremendous anchor. It brings, it could bring people from 45 minutes, an hour away.
Yeah.
You know, at home, that's what we do. We travel that far to go there, and it's a tremendous addition to the mall.
Yeah. The interesting thing is now, you know, you're doing a major favor for a lot of customers in this area because they travel 20 some miles to go to TJ Maxx. Now they don't have to travel, okay? And the fact that you've added the vacancies here in the Laurel Mall, it's just exciting, you know. So, some of the things, Alan, that you were zeroing in on with the vacancies and the excitement here at the mall. What are the things do you envision here?
Well, that's an interesting question because once I fill TJ Maxx and I move the GNC, relocate them, and we move the New York department store, there isn't any vacancy left at the mall. So there is not much more we can do. However, there is outside the mall where we're going to go ahead and focus on. There is the strip center, which is where the Aldi is. There is a vacancy over there. We're working with several tenants to tenant that vacancy. We hope shortly there's going to be a big announcement for that because we had basically, shall I say, it's a major tenant that a few tenants that we're talking to. If any of those end up working out, it'll be a tremendous, another shot of confidence into Hazleton area, as well as the former Ground Round building. We're dealing with several tenants for that. Some are food tenants, some are just professional use. But basically, those are now we're focusing on getting that done as well. Once I have those two, then at that point, the mall will be at its optimum, occupancy.
Wow, what a beautiful. Do you feel as relaxed when you come up here as Eric does?
We definitely do.
I mean, Alan, I'm sorry, you're Eric.
The new management has been phenomenal. So it's really a pleasure working with them. And as I mentioned before, working with great partnerships throughout the community, be it the Chamber of Commerce, be it SSP TV, be it the whole community, becoming part of that community, working with the community to how to make this a friendly place just gives you a relaxed and peaceful feeling. There are one or two small little vacancies that we still have that we're working with more national tenants to bring in, as well as the local tenants. Now, our philosophy, as we said day one, is not yes or no, it's how and when.
Yes.
And that's always been a philosophy, just how we can make this deal better, how we can work with, who we can partner with, and how we can make profitable deals for everybody in the community.
And it's working. I love his saying, it's good to dream, but don't fall asleep, which is fabulous because you had vision here. And you lived up to your vision, which I just think is I think the tenants up here are also, I don't know every one of them, but the majority of them that I speak to, they're excited about what's going on. How can you not be excited, okay? because you're going to bring literally thousands of people more into this mall with TJ Maxx, and you have Dunham's, and you have, you know, Boscov's, you have Kmart, you know, oh, excuse me, Old Navy. So it's just a great positive thing.
And that goes back again to having that friendly attitude, which goes, it's a give and take. Having the friendly atmosphere from the new management, going around saying hello to everybody, being friendly. Anybody can call us at any time. People from the community have created relationships with us. Just, oh, I've thought of this idea. We take everybody's advice into account, everybody's ideas, and we feed off that positivity. And that's how we create a positive atmosphere to the shoppers, to the tenants, and it's just one happy family, and that's how we grow.
You know, we just talked to someone here before, a friend of mine, and he comes up here every morning with his friends. You know, they sit, they have coffee, they talk. Sometimes, you know, they'll go and get some things, but, you know, like when I'm done here today, I have to get a couple things, okay? But it's, you know, they're relaxed, they enjoy themselves, like you said. It's an meeting place, and then, you know, they do their shopping. You know, it really is it's a pleasure, you know. And I have to compliment your company, really. And now, without mentioning specifically, but you have a number of other properties. I mean, I didn't know how you do it. I know when I had my 20 stores, I wanted to shoot myself in the head. But how do you do it, Alec?
Basically, it's surrounding myself with tremendous people like Eric. And we have a whole company, you know, back in New Jersey. We have 10 employees in New Jersey. But primarily what I do, and I feel this is most people who have more than one job, one location with workers, we try to delegate. I'll create in different areas, like a field supervisor, and I have this in the Midwest, where I've taken one of my managers and made him into a regional manager. So he actually will be a manager for 5 malls at one time. He has a team under him, and then that team acts as sub-managers or whatever it is. So I'm able to go ahead and have this scenario where you have, I delegate the responsibilities out, so most of the actual work is done on the outside level, and it comes to me to go ahead and try to fix up and try to finalize, or just, you know, basically to approve, you know, the final steps.
Here, when you're talking about everything happening, you have the TVs now. You know, people can see what's going on. You have the fabulous pile of the
Center Court.
Center Court, the digital display. I mean, it's always things happening, and it's great.
I will add again one other thing. We have a team, and we treat our company like a team. There's none of that aura of bosses and CEOs. Of course, we have a president and a vice president. We do have levels of management.
Yes, yeah.
But the team, from the maintenance guy, is always welcome to talk, and we discuss everything on a team basis. And that's what gives us the relaxation and comfort level that we can operate, because we know that we've got good employees in place, and we've got that team, which is very, very important, because every single person over there is important. Every single person gets respect and gets given and taken respect in every single aspect, so that we know we can run smoothly. And that's extremely important to operating a large company.
Hence the success of Lexington Realty International. The fact that you treat people like people. You have your own families. These are people working. They're trying to survive like everybody else, and you have compassion for them.
And we do call it the family.
Yeah.
We always say, welcome to the family.
Yeah, and we're going to talk to Rocco and Lisa, who these two are like dynamite. I mean, they're going all the time. So I wish you the best, and thank you so much for having faith in our areas. And of course, you do the same thing. You marry all the other areas that you go into, which I think is fabulous. The best to you.
You know, we do one cardinal sin when we own these properties. We get emotionally involved.
Oh.
And that helps them all.
Yeah.
And now anyone will say, it's just a property. We don't say it's just a property. We say it's our property.
From dealing with Rocco and Lisa, believe me, I could attest to that. You really do get involved, and it becomes something that's important, and it shows.
And I will say again, we couldn't have done this job without a phenomenal staff here at the Laurel Mall. Rocco and Lisa have really stepped up, treated it like their own, and all the maintenance staff have really given it their final touch. We always say there's 2 types of workers: there's people who do their job and people who get the job done. We've got staff who get the job done. Whatever it takes to do, from the snow plowing to the cleanliness, everything is really A-class.
Well, We hope the next show we'll do is when TJ Maxx is operating. We'll come up and celebrate, and hopefully we'll have more good news as what's happening at Strip Center down here. And also, who knows, you may put another wing on this place. You have no idea. You don't know what Lexington's going to do. You know, it'll be fabulous, okay? But thanks for your time.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure being here.
Yeah. My pleasure. My pleasure. Folks, I'm talking to Alan Retkinski, who is the president of Lexington Realty International, and Eric Frankel. We come back, we'll talk to the management here and see how they work with local charities and what they do in no charge in helping our community. Stay with us. Welcome back to the Sam Lesante Show, folks. Remember, I'm on location here at the Laurel Mall. As you heard from the president and vice president, TJ Maxx is coming here. It's just exciting. And last interview we talked to them was about the team effort and how everyone's a family. So I thought we would bring in the general manager, Lisa Aruzzo, and the business and marketing development manager, Rocco Aruzzo, no stranger, of course, to Sam Lesante and his family. Lisa, one of the things that he talked about is how family-oriented the mall is, okay, and you're visible, okay?
Yes.
And I think that's important, isn't it?
Oh yes, absolutely. The play zone that Lexington brought into the mall is bringing a lot of families here. And that's what we want to focus on. We want a family-based mall, and it's working. We see the traffic is up, and people are actually shopping.
One thing I noticed, you know, you're in your office for a little bit, but then you're in these tenants' faces. You're asking what's going on. You're very much involved, correct?
Oh yeah, they come to us freely. If they need anything, they know the door's open. Rocco and I try to walk them all on a daily basis. If they need anything, they know. They could just ask us. We try to work with them as best as possible.
Now, when you took over, was it, how long now you're?
Since August of last year.
You had some vision here. I mean, Lexington had visions. Did you ever believe it would be what it is today?
Actually, yeah. I could vision what they wanted to do here. And with a little bit of help through Rocco's experience here and my experience, we know what the people of this area like. When you come from outside of the area into the area, you don't quite know what to expect. But when people say, hey, this would be nice if you could do this, or we really listened to everyone and we tried to make it happen.
And you certainly do. Rocco, you know, being involved in the community, okay, so there are a lot of things that a lot of organizations use the Laurel Mall. Let's talk about some of those things that you have available to them.
Well, the venue is available, you know, for instance, the March of Dimes. You know, even though now we can no longer hold the telethons here, which I know some people were disappointed. But
so to address that, okay, why can't you have the telethons here?
Well, when Lexington came aboard, and recently when we added, as Lisa mentioned, Play Zone, we added all the new seating areas throughout the mall, new vending machines. We have kiddie rides that are coming in. The space within the common area, Sam, is so limited. So that being said, we couldn't accommodate their needs any longer. They used to use an empty store. Well, we got the news today, TJ Maxx is coming. We have no empty stores. At this point, we may be lucky to have one, and who knows when that's going to get filled. So that was an issue, along with we couldn't do the entertainment any longer. There was nowhere to put the stage and you know, the seating and that. So that was a problem.
But in turn, you are helping the American Cancer Society and Helping Hands.
Absolutely.
And how are you doing that?
Well, we keep the door open. We tell them, look, when you have to do fundraisers, when you want to do any type of promoting, please come to the Laurel Mall. It's important. Just for instance, over Christmas, we have Helping Hands come in. They do the gift wrapping. And that's a big thing for them, and that's a good money maker. March of Dimes comes. We have the Cancer Society. We do the health fairs yet for you know, the seniors. So there's a lot that we still do for the community, and as Lisa mentioned, not only are we a family, but we're community oriented. And that's what we want the people to understand, because, you know, I was just thinking about this before we went on. The Laurel Mall, yes, we're in Hazel Township, we're in the surrounding area, but we have to be one of the largest businesses in the area that provides jobs, which is a key, Sam, to this area.
If there's any organization that wants to have a fundraiser or something like that, they should call your Laurel Mall office.
Absolutely. They call the Laurel Mall office or stop in any day, 9 to 5. Sometimes Lisa and I are here even later. We're always open. That is the one thing. If we have the space, we have the time, they're welcome. Like, I'll give you an idea. This coming weekend, Saturday, it's National Music Month of March is the National Association Music in our schools. So we have the Hazelton Area School District from 11 a.m. this week. It's going to be here all day.
Just don't sing, okay? Just don't
No,
sing.
I won't sing, I promise.
Folks, Rocco Russo, who is the Marketing and Business Development Manager, and Lisa Russo, who is the General Manager here at Laurel Mall. A lot of things are happening here. I know you've been here, but if you want to come back and see what's going on, you're going to have a great shopping experience and a relaxing experience. You're watching the Sam Lesante Show. We'll see you next time.